Hey everybody, I'm Tim and welcome to Cigars Daily Live, coming to you from sunny Phoenix, Arizona to kick off an epic episode. And I know I overuse the word epic typically, but when it comes to this one, it is the episode of the year, the one that we are all looking forward to so intently. This tonight is Steve Saka's most unhinged cigar ever, LecheBurra, has been released into the wild. A very satisfied, very milked donkey is wandering around somewhere. And here we are in the studio hanging out to talk about it. Of course, tonight we are going to be joined in a few moments in studio with our audience. Steve Saka himself is going to be here. Not the donkey. I know we were all kind of wishing the donkey was here to talk about it, but nonetheless,
I can role play.
Did you bring your donkey ears, Terrence? It's going to be a hell of a show. Can't wait to share it all with you. Of course, my name is Tim. I'm the host of the show, and all of you watching at home, you are the co-host. Your comments and questions will drive this episode, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook or on Rumble, or even on our own community of Cigars Daily Plus, which, by the way, is where the after party is going to be happening, and that's where the massive fun goes. So we're going to dive in. First thing tonight, I'm going to bring Steve on. That is coincidentally why we're all here tonight. It's why I'm here. We want to hear a lot more about LecheBurra and talk about this project, which, by the way, has been a sensational project to do. It now lives in the wild, and we're going to tell you all about that. Of course, going on now, someone's just popped their head in the studio, which always means that there's a fire burning somewhere.
Everything's on fire.
Quite literally, this weekend at Cigartopia, by the way, which was a huge, huge success. We had a monumental number of people hang out with us, and so I was sitting at a table talking with somebody. And they came over, they said, Tim, one of the trash cans caught on fire. And I said, oh, that's never happened before. And sure enough, that happened. That was really bizarre. But I think it's this year we hired a few gals to go around, empty out ashtrays. And I told my guy who was doing the ashtray gals, make sure they don't put lit cigars into the trash can. That's kind of, you learn that doing this. And there we go. Trash can caught on fire. It was quick.
I think they were pretty good. They were keeping it into the little bucket we set aside for them with some water in the bottom.
You don't think this was their fault?
I don't think it was their fault.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, my name is Tim, and I'm the host of the show. And all of you watching at home, you are the co-host. Your comments and questions will drive the episode, and you'll be able to ask them directly to Steve in just a couple of minutes here. A couple of housekeeping items up front. First of all, I don't do this show alone. However, the studio is unreasonably empty tonight, and that is at least in part because we have so many people here to hang out with Steve Saka that we wanted to make sure that we included them on the evening. So to help me do this show behind the camera is... I'll put that one up.
There you go.
Ben says, where's the black guy? He's here. Don't worry. He didn't leave.
I have a name.
He has a name.
That guy has a name?
He got the milk. He brought it back. We're good. Listen, sitting behind the camera is Billy, the cock of the wall.
Not the black guy.
And sitting next to him is our very own, he does have a name, El Rey del Terrence.
You know what? I've always just wanted to have where's the black guy from that?
Where's the black guy? And of course, I want to do this while we can, sitting in the Cigars Daily Edition.
Hey, with Wi-Fi issues.
Do right now.
All right,
He's
we're
just
just
standing
gonna-
there. Yeah.
Just gonna.
Lavery's like, get me off the screen, damn it. So we're hanging out in here. It's just the four of us in the studio
Yeah.
tonight. It's kind of peaceful, actually.
Yeah.
Of course, this show is not brought to you by C4 Energy Drinks because they haven't paid us a dime yet. But we're going to dive in. I want to do something housekeeping up front. I want to start the show with a segment we do every week called the Cigars Daily Nation Pick of the Week. These photos come from the Cigars Daily Nation Facebook group. This is one of the largest Facebook group for cigars and one of the best places to share your passion for new projects for things like LecheBurra, which just made its way out there. First pick of the week comes from our very own, it's taken a second for them to come up on my screen, Tim M. Tim M says, smoking a 2017 Sobremesa and a breakfast of champions. A little yellow on that cello. Now, in this picture, and this is Tim M., who is usually here at the HQ. I usually get to talk with him and hang out. He found some old school Sobremesas.
Yeah, that's a Cervantes Fino. They don't even make that size anymore.
Yeah, 2017, Dunbarton had been alive for just a couple of years, and Sobremesa was one of, if not the only. How many years before you released another blend? One every year. So there was only a couple of Dunbartons out when this Sobremesa was made, but sitting behind him there on his table looks like a LecheBurra action. It's wonderful. And of course, the breakfast of champions, let's take a look at that, is nothing other than some eggs, 4 eggs, which is the breakfast of champions.
Yeah.
I argue that it is. Also, this weekend at the Cigars Daily HQ, we had monumental success with Cigartopia. We were joined by some great regulars, but I have to warn you, if you hand a camera to Terrence, what he's going to do with it is take a picture of himself.
What do you mean?
He's that guy. Is that one up there? Did you already click it?
No, I have.
There you go. First of all, Terrence has this weird thing about not smiling in pictures. So this picture right here is a very rare photograph of Terrence smiling. Screenshot that, send it to his grandchildren. This is Fenrir Norse and his gal Sarah. They were here. They're staples for us. And I got this also because down below, he took his haul out. And then I guess on his counter, it looks like he blew smoke onto the counter to make it look
effect.
It's an effect.
Yeah.
And also, he trademarked it for us. He put his watermark on the bottom corner.
He trademarked it with RIP. That's very clever of him. Thank you very much, Fenrir. That's amazing and a great way to add some decor to a melamine countertop. That's solid.
Very good haul.
Beautiful lighting. Fantastic. And of course, people out there in the wilds, they're checking out all the new stuff. And one of those things is the specials. You know, a lot of you guys have got your Dunbarton soapstone ashtray. Some of you wish you had a Dunbarton soapstone ashtray. Many of you have your Saka Squatch statues, your many Dunbarton coffee mug collections of, they take up a whole wall in your house. But LecheBurra, the pre-release, is what we're here to chat about tonight. And Carlos R., he's the guy who posted it first today that I saw. I saw a bunch of people on the Facebook group posting pictures of their shopping cart. That was really all it was. And I can't put that on YouTube. So he said about it, LecheBurra for breakfast. Awesome. Great collaboration with Dunbarton and Tim H. Swanson. I smoked one at Cigartopia and it was good. Now that I can sit down and savor it, what a flavorful cigar. Drinking coffee and has tasting hints of cocoa and cinnamon. What an epic thing. And of course, to tell you guys about this, I'm not going to do it. I didn't blend the cigar. My input on this was the same as the input that you had if you made a baby with your wife. You showed up for about 3 minutes, and then she did all of the rest of the work. I'm sure Saka likes where this metaphor is going. In this instance, Saka not only carried the baby, but he birthed the whole thing to life. Drop a comment and say hello to, and welcome to this episode, Stephen F. Saka. I don't know what the F could stand for. Steve Saka, welcome.
It's actually T. It's not F.
Is it a T? Is it
T.
like Tiberius or something weird like that?
It's actually weirder than that.
It's
What is it?
Terrence.
It's actually, no, it's actually Temujin.
Temujin?
Temujin.
What is that?
Temujin is the birth name of Genghis Khan. Look at
Oh,
this.
okay.
His microphone just
fell off. This place is falling
Oh
apart.
my god.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's the birth name of Genghis Khan.
It is the birth name of Genghis Khan.
It is.
Yeah.
And yeah, my dad had some very unrealistic expectations. He really did.
I mean, you're kind of taking over the cigar world one puff at a time. You kind of the same thing. You know, you're bettering the air quality as we go
That's
along.
where the whole Saka Khan part of where that comes from.
What does it get? Timesian?
Temujin.
Temujin.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a little bit of a
Yeah.
Tim in there.
And my dad was Turkish, and he wanted me to be named Hussein Temujin Saka.
Oh.
My mom said he's got to go to kindergarten. This ain't gotta remember, this is the '60s at this point. That's not today.
Yeah.
This is the '60s in kindergarten.
Back when bullying was expected. The only thing I can tell you is you got to bring this mic basically almost right up to your mouth. Otherwise, people are
Very
going to turn it up
pornographic,
like
the
that.
whole thing.
And bring it.
My
Yeah.
God.
What the pornographic part of it is that you have to hold it about a fist from your. There you go.
Oh my
Looking good.
God.
All right.
Good, baby. It makes my face look better.
Yeah. See this?
See, the more I
Otherwise,
block, the better looking I get.
see, tilt the mic up, Saka. That's going to come all night. So I want to make sure
That's
that
what she
everybody can
said.
hear you.
All right.
Thank you, Terrence. All right. You can drop your comments and questions now directly for Steve Saka.
I'm even allowed to hold a cigar.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do the thing.
I don't even know what the rules are anymore. This social media. Nonsense.
Nobody does. I
Yeah.
went through a thing with ChatGPT and it wasn't sure. It kind of gives you here's what's safe, here's what's kind of safe, and here's what you should not do.
There you go.
Now, all of you watching at home, we're going to be here.
That's why the donkey is in here.
That's right.
That's not safe. I know
So,
that's not safe for work.
Let's start with that. LecheBurra, when we started out on this project, you said, "Hey, give me some cigar names." I wrote a list. I sent it to
Oh, they were
you.
dreadful.
You hated
they
all
were
of them.
So bad.
And then you said, yeah, try again. And we had a conversation. I said, listen, I'm not trying to like say anything, but a lot of your cigars have like food names,
Yeah.
like polpetta and brulee
Yeah.
and red meat lovers. And so like maybe a food thing. You went to Nicaragua and you texted me back. You said, I got it.
Yeah.
LecheBurra. Tell us about
LecheBurra.
where does this come from?
Yeah. So what LecheBurra is it's a homemade candy that mostly it's made by old Nicaraguan women in their kitchen, and then what they do is they do it in a cookie sheet, right? And it's this kind of a Nicaraguan version of a caramel, which makes it rougher, right? It's not as creamy, it's not as sweet, but it has this kind of brown, sugary, kind of molasses kind of twinge to it. It's got a little bit of vanilla hint to it, a little bit of honey hint to it, and it's almost got it's got more of a bit of a gritty nature than a creamy nature. You know what I mean? It's a little bit deeper, darker in flavor, and I thought, oh, that's really. And then what they do is they then sell it on the weekends as a penny candy out in front of their house. And
Okay.
but it's a very Nicaraguan thing. In fact, I'm sure there's probably a version of it in Honduras and Costa Rica. I don't know, but the only place I've ever seen it is in Nicaragua. So it just seemed like this is kind of interesting.
I found a place that had some because we talked about getting
Yeah.
these candies for people, but
I could not figure out a way to put 3,000 candies in my suitcase and get it through
well,
customs.
you asked me, you're
I would
like,
have been much better with like 2 bricks of Coke.
yeah.
It would have been much
That's
easier
true.
to get
That's
by
true.
customs than a whole suitcase full of handmade candy with because they don't let you, like, if it isn't like prepackaged with a label, there's no way they're gonna let that.
Steve
go through
asked me
customs.
before he was coming back. He's like, "How many do you think you'd need?" I said, "I don't know, 20,000." He was like, "Okay, good luck with that."
Yeah.
But I found a few bags on Amazon.
Yeah.
that you said were pretty true to form.
Yeah, I
like,
mean they're
reasonably.
not quite the same, but I thought the ones that we had some at the event on Saturday, and I thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
All right, sweet. I want to dive straight into all of your comments. I know you're dropping them rapidly down below. Since just before the show started, we have almost 400 comments here. So, Billy, what have we got? What are the people
Are there
saying?
any nice comments in those 400, or is it all just...
None of them are written by you, so I'm sure there's lots of them.
Well, so far the bet has not hit yet tonight. There's always a bet that goes on
Oh,
with
Did we
these.
make a bet, or did the audience make
The
a bet?
audience made a bet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when it finally happens, I'll bring it up.
oh.
But there is a
Oh,
bet
wow.
going
There's
There's
got to
that-
be some word that I use all the
not a
time or
word.
something.
But-
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Is
right.
it me screwing something up?
Well, that's normal, but no.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
He's like your grandmother. You see what he just did? He threw a coaster under my
The
drink.
camera was on them. Nobody would have ever known. Nobody would have ever known. If you hadn't
Are
put it
you
up.
kidding me?
Yeah, well, it makes noise for the
I don't want to
microphone.
ruin your doilies here.
No,
right?
no, no. I just that's this audio. I had Jose Blanco in the other day to do a video,
Yeah.
and he had one of these like hit the table every time he talks.
Oh, so it makes noise.
It makes noise. that noise. And then people at home
And
who
they
have
know every drink I take.
people at home who are watching this on a TV and that TV is connected to a subwoofer.
Oh, it's awful.
It's powerful. All right. Chris CPU is on. He says, see, this is what happens when you put Saka on the internet. In honor of Saka, master of Lanceros,
I can agree.
I'm having a GFY number 2.
Oh, God.
Thank goodness he loves Lanceros so much. Did that project change your view? The
Not in the
GFY?
slightest.
Not even a
It
little
actually
bit.
reinforces my viewpoint on Lancero.
When you make the samples,
Mhm.
you roll the first few samples. Did you roll Lanceros for that
no,
GFY?
no,
sample?
no.
You just scaled the blend?
I can't. I'm not good enough to roll Lanceros.
Oh, wow. So rolling a Lancero is like a
It's a definite technique.
Oh, wow.
And I don't even come close to rolling enough cigars to even fictitiously begin to pretend I can roll a Lancero. I mean,
but now you're
can I roll something that's in the size, like girth wise? Yes. Can I roll something that's 7 inches and it's worth smoking in that girth? Absolutely not.
how good do you got to be to do Lancero level?
Way better than me.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's just that simple.
I mean, you did.
But even
blend
even
L40,
like
right?
even with the Lancero project, only really had 2 pairs that were capable of rolling them. That was actually what determined the amount that we made. We actually had to stop taking orders on it because we had so many orders. I'm like, we're never going to be able to deliver all of this
Right.
stuff.
Mhm.
Like, we just have to stop taking orders on this. We're done because they never would have been delivered that year at the pace it was going.
Are you surprised to still see so many Lanceros from your GFY samplers? Like,
No,
out there?
again, because that just reinforces my opinion of Lancero smokers. They buy it and they don't smoke it. They just put it in their they just put it in their damn Lancero shrine. That's like so it doesn't. You're gonna see those GFY samplers intact 82 years from now. Okay, there will be boxes of GFYs that have never been touched.
All right, I want to keep this going. Keep bringing me those comments there, Billy. We've got more other than the Lancero thing. We won't camp on that too long. MGD998 sounds like a radio station. Steve, I'm a huge fan.
Thank
Have
you.
3 DTTs in rotation: the Sin Comp, Bewitch, and the MQTT. Number 1, is Todos still slated for 26? And number 2, did or do you consider making cigars at other factory, e.g. Plasencia, AJ, or Aganorsa? Thanks.
All right. So on the Todos question, yes, we're going to do a small batch. We put it in what we call our archive series. That's where I bring a cigar back that, I'm no longer doing in large quantities. So there'll be a release of Todos Las Dias double wides sometime in the early part of 2026. Cigars are made, I don't know exactly, February, March-ish. It's really going to depend on packaging and just scheduling and whatnot. So yes, there will be a batch of Todos for that. And then on the other question, no, I have my hands full working with 2 factories. I don't see a reason to add. I know, how do I say this in a way that's delicate? Fuck that. Let's not do that. I know consumers romanticize the factories,
Right.
but reality, factories are not all that important. Factories are tables, chivetas, standards, practices, methodologies. They all have the same basic infrastructure. It's really more about the materials than anything else. And because I'm providing and sourcing most of the materials that are used in our blends, the factory part is not the part. So like a lot of times when you have a particular cigar that's made at Pepin Garcia, it has Pepin Garcia style. You have something made at Aganorsa, it's got a lot of Aganorsa. You know what I mean? It takes on that profile of the factory. But in my case, that's kind of irrelevant.
Right.
For me, the factory is just really the place where we're doing the mechanics of the cigar, but we're not really, drafting from their tobacco inventories for a lot of our products. They're drafting from my inventories.
Aren't the rollers more or less good at some factories better than others, or more?
Yeah, there's some
quality rollers?
there are some quality yeah, that's true in all factories. All factories have different scales of rollers. And look, there's perfectly great, competent rollers in pairs at Abdel's place, that's AJ, or at Plasencia. But there's nothing for me that makes them unique, different than the partners that I currently work with, right? Because it's not like I'm like, oh, I want to make a cigar with a lot of Aganorsa tobacco, so therefore it makes sense to make a cigar at Aganorsa. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
There's no incentive for that. So, and as you add more factories, it just adds more complexity to the situation.
Sure.
And, the 2 that I work with currently is more than enough to keep me miserable. So there's no reason to add another.
It's already complicated enough with the extra factory stuff, the
Yeah.
new trademarks and everything. All right, Billy, we're going to take one more comment, and then we're going to do something on this episode that we do sort of regularly, but my sense is that Steve is going to be better at this than I am.
Oh.
And that's a segment we call quick hits. So Billy's going to pick out about 10 or 15 comments that Steve's going to answer as quickly and as with as few words as you'd like.
Oh, as few words as I like. We all know how good I am at a few words.
All right, let's see. Let's give us one comment, and then I'm going to give you the chance to pick out some quick hits there, Billy. Throw something up.
All right, we're going to do a hardball.
Hardball.
Okay.
Hardball.
All right.
Bring it on.
Okay, this one's from Papa Sandler. Says, Steve, what's going on with Stillwell Stars? Like, are you cutting it?
Yeah. So I'm gonna revamp the Stillwell Star line. Look, Stillwell Star is one of the like really in left field kind of projects for us. It's very unique. It's very different. I would say I always tell consumers it's kind of a love or a hate kind of product.
Sure.
It's just so different from traditional cigars by the incorporation of the pipe bent tobaccos. When I first launched Stillwell, I did a full portfolio of aromatics, a Bayou vapor style blend, an English Latakia style blend, and then a Navy kind of blend. And for the first couple years, they all sold about equally. And then at about the 2-year mark, it became very apparent that consumers that stick with Stillwell, they tend to prefer the sweeter aromatic styles of cigars. So that's where the bulk of the sales are.
Yeah.
So, supporting the others doesn't make sense for most retailers because they don't really generate enough sales for them to give it space. And they just end up buying a lot of aromatic number 1s, aromatic number 22s, and the holiday release. So I'm going to
read my mind.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look, ultimately it is my job. I mean, I give consumers what I want to give them, but also I'm not a moron. If aromatic is what they like, then I'll focus more on the aromatic style blends, the things that are sweeter. And that's what ultimately we'll do. And the other thing too is I really like the smaller format that we did for this year's holiday. I think that, I think that this year's holiday is probably, I think it's my favorite of all the aromatics that we have released, the holiday 2025. That 5x48 kind of format works really well. And if I do that 5x48 in all the existing, it then makes the brand too wide, too fat, not shelf friendly. And so I want to go kind of back to the drawing board. So right now I'm playing around with a variety of aromatic blends. I want to pretty much release it in 2 sizes, the standard Toro, and then also that 5x48 format. So I'm going to sometime in 2026, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I have a PCA deadline, but that only works if I'm done in time.
Yeah.
If I'm not done in time, I won't have it at that point, but I stopped making everything but the aromatic Stillwells early this year. And so whatever's, if you're into Navy or if you're into Bayou or if you're into English, what's in the field now is almost like, I think literally like when I got on the plane here, I think we were down to like our last 12 boxes of Bayou.
Wow. So if you're into the 27 or the 32, suck it. Big.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
suck on it,
but
not too fast.
Here's the nice thing that'll end up happening is now that'll become eventually maybe an archive release, right?
Sure.
Maybe 3-4 years from now, I'll be able to go, okay, I'm going to make another English Latakia style Stillwell and make that an archive release. So there's an opportunity for people to try it. But I mean, in the end, I have to give people what they want. And what they want is they want more aromatic. That's what they want.
All right, we're going to dive into some quick hits.
How's that a hardball question?
That wasn't that hardball.
Hard at all.
All right. Well, Billy's got his.
You got to pick a much tougher question.
Do you want
than
a
that.
tougher one?
Yeah, I want a brutal question.
Wow.
Brutal
All
question.
right.
Like, man, you're such a fat bastard. How do they keep you on camera? I can't stand to watch this. Make it awful.
Tim, the request on this is specifically coming from you to ask Steve. So
okay, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna
close my eyes so I don't see the question. I get it.
Or slacker. Go ahead, Tim. Ask Steve if his cigar has sweet tips.
Yeah,
just the tip. Now I'll say this. I would because he wants me to.
So aromatic number 1 has a sweet tip.
But I smoked this morning. And the tip was noticeably sweet. You talked about this a lot. You get asked about this a lot. Is that naturally that sweet, or is there a little bit of mashigama?
Let me say this. I've always said this. This is not a sweet tip cigar. the way we work with that tobacco, do we have a unique technique that we're using with the aging process, the 3 years? Is there something? But there is nothing in a Stillwell Star, separate of the pipe tobaccos, because look, in the aromatics, those tobaccos are sweetened.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. They're cased pipe tobaccos. That's
Yep.
what an aromatic is. But there is nothing that we are doing to the traditional cigar tobaccos. There are still just those 3 ingredients. There is just stuff that is derived from tobacco, water, and then ultimately the goma that we use to affix the head. We're not applying any sweetness through a third party kind of saccharin or an inverted sugar solution,
Right,
or
right.
anything like that.
When he says goma, he's talking about the cigar glue, not the stuff that grows between your legs when you don't shower. That's what it's. I mean, it can sound that way. All right, I want to I want to dive into the quick hits. So the
Quick
goal of
hits.
this is we're going to throw up comments.
Okay.
I'm going to read them to you, and
Okay.
you can, and as
I'm ready.
short as you can use 1 or 2 words. Be as dismissive as you like. This is not Facebook post Saka. This is going to be, I don't know, text message Saka.
It'll be TikTok sock.
Thank you. I was just gonna say that. Yes.
As long as I don't have to dance while I answer the question, I'm
right.
okay.
Let's do it. Starting with number
All
1.
right, I'm ready.
This is in reference to the
I'm
LecheBurra.
focusing.
Okay, LecheBurra. Sandra McCune says, Steve, is this going to be a good morning cigar with coffee? Talking about LecheBurra.
Yeah, look, it's definitely smooth enough. It's definitely
Mm-hmm.
mild enough. It's definitely creamy enough. It's a really good complement to coffee. If you're someone that smokes all light cigars, you may find it too strong as your morning cigar. If you're someone that smokes medium and up on that, yeah, it's no problem as a morning cigar at all.
Agreed.
Okay, more quick hits. I was going to say something.
Is that
about-
not quick enough?
That was, it's as quick as you want it to be.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Robbie Crypto says, why is Opus so hard to get right now?
You know what? Talk to Carlito Fuente about it.
That's a great answer.
You know,
Next
yeah.
one.
All right, next one.
This one's from Smooth Kenny. Hey, Steve, what's the difference between the Brûlée Blue and the Wagashi?
It's a big difference, actually.
Wow.
Brûlée Blue is a stronger blend.
Agreed.
Brûlée Blue, oddly enough, Brûlée Blue is the one that gets all the internet love when you look at all the social media posts. But the people that really love Brûlée Blue are actually more often than not Connecticut shade smokers. They're smokers that tend to smoke stronger cigars.
Mhm.
And Brûlée Blue is this is the one Connecticut shade cigar that I really, really like that gives me enough. And whereas Wagashi is actually a lighter, milder blend. So the people that actually are like really big Brûlée fans, really like Connecticut mild cigars, the Wagashi is actually a better kind of step up product for them because it's actually a lighter blend in Wagashi. So there's actually quite a world of difference between Wagashi and Brûlée Blue.
There we go.
Good. Next, Whiskey Gin says, what Churchill sizes do you make?
Well, what's a Churchill size anymore? Is it a traditional 7x48? Is it a?
I would,
7x
yeah,
I would have
something
said
like
like
50-ish.
just at least
Within-
7-inch.
yeah, I mean-
Yeah.
Yeah, within.
I mean, look, here's the thing. Churchill is no longer it's no longer a popular size like it used to be,
Mm-mm.
right?
Certain blends, but yeah.
Yeah. So not a lot. I mean, in the regular sober Mesa, we have the Churchill and Cedros. That's a 7x50.
Mhm.
The new Word of Saka that's enclosed in the deep cut sampler. That's a 7x50.
I am putting out a video on deep cuts so you guys can learn about that.
Yeah.
Fascinating blend.
Well, you are stretching that.
It is that you got to like pilot it anew rapidly for you. Don't think that's
Right.
interesting?
Of course, I think it's interesting. You know, everything that I do that was so old to me. So what you guys look at new, that was the crap I was focused on 3 years ago.
This
know what I
in the
mean?
cigar world, listen, we're the same as the guys who like just heard that XRPs go into the moon. Meanwhile, all the other guys have already sold all theirs and they're taking all our money. Like that's where we are. We're just hearing about. We're like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah. $3.40 like a month ago. I think it's like $2.20 right now.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, I'm picking up XRP like crazy.
All right, Billy. Mel Knox says, Steve, do you smoke pipes?
Yeah. I actually, when I really first got into smoking, I couldn't afford to smoke handmade cigars. So pipes were a way that I could smoke high quality tobacco economically. So I smoked a lot. I was a pretty I smoked a lot of pipe when I was younger. Now it's more an occasional thing. I'll tend to smoke more pipe in the winter. There's just something about it, the crisp, cool weather, the fireplace, the whole, everything that's cliche, I fall in.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So but I still am a pipe smoker, but I'm a cigar smoker first. You know, pipe smoker is it's me dabbling over there on the dark side a little.
All right, Billy, keep them coming. These hits are quicker than my hits. Bulldog, says Steve. Any cigars with Brazilian Matafina wrappers coming out? Absolutely love that wrapper.
And I can appreciate that. I love the wrapper too, but no, currently there won't be. I can't get a good consistent supply of Brazilian Matafina that I feel is the standard I want. In fact, the LecheBurra is one of the very few cigars I use that have any Matafina in them. I use the binder is Matafina, which adds to the inherent sweetness of the blend.
When I read that in your blending card, I was like, yes, I was so excited because I love it too.
Oh, it's something unique, but I have to be very pragmatic about, can I make it consistently year after year after year? And if I go down the Matafina as a wrapper road, I don't have confidence in the supply. It's the same reason why I don't do anything Cameroon. I don't have confidence that I can source Cameroon at the quality level that I want all the time. And if I can't, then I just don't want to go down that, because ultimately I'm going to make a blend that I'm going to have to change significantly, which will then be a disappointment for the consumer.
These quick hits are really hard because I want to ask so many follow-up questions to every single one of them. But Billy, give us another one here. Let's keep cruising. These are great questions. The Whiskey Drinker says, does Steve have a preference for lighting a cigar? Is it a soft flame? Is it a torch? Cedar spills? Matches? Do you blow on it?
Yeah, so matches, no. Too much hassle. Cedar spills, I know I'm going to upset the cedar spill people, but I really don't recommend cedar spills. Cedar is actually, Spanish cedar is actually a mahogany type, and it's actually carcinogenic when it's combusted. So when it's used as we don't make boxes out of Spanish mahogany anymore because it's just totally unavailable, but you'll still find cigars that have cedar wrappers on them. So when it's left in the unburned state, it's fine. It's kind of like asbestos. When asbestos is in the wall and it isn't touched, it's perfectly fine.
Right.
But as soon as you start converting it into dust, it becomes a highly toxic ingredient.
Right.
So cedar spills, I know it's a very traditional thing. It's a very romantic thing. I know there's companies that specialize in cedar spills, but cedar in itself, Spanish cedar, which is really mahogany, Honduran mahogany, is actually carcinogenic when you smoke it. So I don't subscribe to that. Look, I'm lazy. Ever since the advent of the torch lighter, which for me was in the 90s, when Blazer came out with their PB207, which was really a micro welding torch. I like it. It's just so much easier now. I tend to not be as brutal. I don't think I'm like in World War II, World War I with a flamethrower in a trench. I mean, I tend to bring it here and kind of warm it at a distance. I get it. And I kind of be gentle and I slowly light it like that. And then I end up getting closer with it while I start to draw on it. So even when I use a torch lighter, I try to light gently and evenly, unless I'm in the wind. If I'm in the wind, I'm an arc welder. I'm like, but yeah, I tend to prefer torch lighters. It's just the convenience factor, because in the end, the most important thing is getting the cigar evenly lit.
Yeah.
So, and a torch lighter makes it easier to evenly light a cigar. So I'm a fan of torch lighters, but at the same time too, I always see consumers like whine about, oh, I bought my lighter and it only worked. Look, you have to understand that no matter how much you spend on a torch lighter, it's not going to eventually work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the ports that are required to get that type of temperature are so fine and so minute that eventually they're going to get clogged. And even if they don't, the lighter's temperature will eventually burn out the head.
Sure.
Because if you actually made a torch lighter that could work for like 10, 15 years consistently, look, everyone will get an occasional lighter. Like this is a cheap lighter I got in my hand now, and I probably had this one kicking around 3-4 years.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of torch lighters and they burn out really, really quick. But you have to accept the fact that you buy a torch lighter, it's a disposable, temporary use item.
Is this your typical? Or do you walk around with cheap pocket lighters, or do you have expensive?
I use more of the PB207. The Blazer PB207 is my favorite lighter.
All right.
Yeah, by far. I have
Blazer PB207 for people who are going to go look that up
right
now.
Yeah,
I can't find them. They're already all gone.
Yeah, you can find them. You can find them on Amazon. They don't sell them as cigar lighters. That's what all cigar geeks discovered in the 90s.
Yeah.
They started using it. It's really what kicked off the whole torch lighter craze.
Wow.
Were those original PB207s in there. And as far as durability, those are the most durable, the most long lasting, but they're very ugly. They're not stylish. They're kind of dangerous because they can lock the flame on.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah,
this is like the one. Yeah, everybody
had one in the lounge on Saturday.
Yeah, that's one of that's the PB207
with the little chain on it.
Yeah,
and you do not want to get rid of that cap, because if you lean the wrong way and that thing goes off in your pocket, you're
cooked.
getting a very bad experience.
Yeah, you're gonna be
Yeah,
on.
I
the
actually
news.
had that happen to me in an event, and I dropped my pants like instantly because it just went off in my pocket. So I learned my lesson. You keep the ugly
the
cap
cap.
with the chain. You put it on. Yeah.
All right, we got one more quick hit, and then we're gonna dive into LecheBurra.
Man, we got so many quick.
I know.
hits.
We got so many, but we're gonna come back to comments. You guys feel free to keep dropping them down below. Don't hesitate. We're gonna get as many as we can. We just want to dive into LecheBurra a little bit because it's its birthday. It was birthed. It was conceived, and now it's out.
Birth. That's very Okay, whatever. It's your program. You can
What
call
what
it
do you,
whatever.
what would you
Birth.
refer to it to?
I don't know.
You're an artist. You create art.
Debuted, maybe introduced.
Yeah, that's fine.
Birth.
Debut is
Birth
okay.
comes with placenta and gooey stuff. I don't know. Birth.
He's already got
Yeah.
postpartum
Yeah,
depression. It's
yeah.
okay, everybody. Don't worry.
Wow.
All right.
It's been birthed. It's been burped. It's been burped into existence.
Yeah.
Bert.
All right, Billy, give us the last quick hit, and then we'll dive in. Easy peasy says, "Oh, any plans on cigarillos? Dunbarton cigarillos?
So here's the problem. Probably not. And the reason why is cigarillos are something that a big factory does because they have a lot of like chop material, short wrapper cuts. Most of them are made on machines. They're done very cheaply. If I make a cigar like a cigarillo, it's going to be like literally the world's most expensive cigarillo. So, I mean, I just don't think consumers will buy
I
it.
love the sound of that. by the way.
I think the price point would end up not working for the consumer in any way whatsoever. So it's like, it's one of the things too. It's one of the reasons why, people always like, oh, your cigars are all like $15 to $20. Well, the reason why they're $15 to $20 is I know that is the playing field that I can play in and be competitive. Right. I can't play in the sub $10 field on everything. The only place I play in the sub $10 field is on like Ombagog and on Plopetta. And that's because I'm reutilizing materials that I otherwise wouldn't be able to use. So it becomes kind of a cash recovery, best utilization of materials. Cigarillos, I just don't think the consumer is going to be willing to pay what it would cost to have a handmade Saka grade cigarillo. I just don't think they would.
Hold on.
And then the other thing too is even if they were enough, there'd be so many people on social media that would whine about it that I don't even want to hear them whine about it, because in the end I'm going to make like 2 cents for each one. I'm going to have to listen to some guy badger me about how I'm raping them on the price. I mean,
Right.
it's just better avoided than done.
It sounds like we hit our contest, the bet that was going on. Somebody up here said it was a 36-minute. I want to guess what it is because I still don't know what it is. Billy and Terrence can tell us.
I have no idea what it is either.
You don't know what it is?
From me.
Billy, do you know what it is?
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay,
What it
is it that Steve said, here's the problem with that?
No.
Okay, what was the bet?
Well, we still have show. We could still hit the.
Oh, we haven't hit the bet yet.
We haven't hit the bet.
Oh, okay.
Somebody just said, Crim said 36-minute mark, and Crim Reaper also said, I lost, LOL.
There's a few bets. There's an original bet that is going.
Oh, the original bet's still going. All right.
The
sweet.
original bet was put in at 5:33 p.m. tonight.
So what's the bet that we just hit?
We don't know what that one is, do we?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, because there's only like, how many comments have you gotten so far?
Only 741, but that doesn't include the pre-show.
Scroll,
comments.
monkey, scroll. Figure this out.
All right, listen. Here's what we're gonna do. I want to dive into LecheBurra. I want to talk about the project for a little bit. Give you guys a chance to ask questions about it. We've got a lot of emojis popping up. This donkey thing.
Yeah.
We talked about the name for this, and you came back and said LecheBurra. I was like, what a great idea. You told me you're like, this Nicaraguan candy. It's like caramel. It's really good. And I was like, that sounds like a great name. And then I told it to Terrence, and he's like, doesn't that mean donkey's milk? And then Terrence looks at me and he goes, ass milk. And I went, oh no, that's what's gonna be your joke about it. And he goes, yeah. And I said, okay, but still, this cigar comes with this idea of this candy that is very sweet, very caramel, unbelievably good. And the cigar
it's
itself,
very sweet. I think it's kind of sweet.
the candy,
Yeah.
the candy's kind of sweet.
I mean, compared to like a caramel that's like traditional caramel. Like
Yeah, like in the United States.
Yeah, I think LecheBurra is a little.
The ones that
it's a
Robert
little-
Kennedy
it's a-
Jr. are
yeah,
going
it's a-
after. He's
Right.
like,
LecheBurra isn't that sweet because it's made out of a dark cane kind of brown sugar, touch of molasses.
it's sweet to me
Oh,
because
it
I
is.
don't consume
Tim, I think
carbs.
it's because I tasted it and it was like it was overly sweet for me. But you and I
we don't do carbs.
don't do carbs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's Chris Duque on What Is Happening, Chris. He gave us a donkey with a bottle and a little squirt there.
You know. the fact that there's a little what are those emoticons?
Emojis. Yeah.
Emojis, thank you.
Emoticon is the
Old I
original
am,
name.
right? Emoticons.
They're called
Yeah,
Decepticons.
you know, on the internet, you know, the people. Yeah, but yeah, the fact that there's even anything like that, that's great. That's a
Yeah.
benefit, right?
I-
I so wish there was some sort of like little Sasquatch. emoji.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
if you're listening to me out there, Apple, I need a Sasquatch emoji. You're really hampering me.
There'll be one. I think you
Yeah.
can make your own.
I was
Someone
so
will come up
happy
with
when they
one.
made a taco emoji.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course
yeah.
you were.
How much LecheBurra? How much of LecheBurra is because you were doing a cigar with the jackass online, and how much of it was driven by the candy? Like, where did this come from for you?
Well, it really it was. I knew where I wanted the cigar to be flavor profile wise, and it just turns out that LecheBurra is a very good flag post for the style of cigar that I wanted to make. So, and you know, and I like to try to come up with. I like to try to come up with like unique ideas when I'm naming this stuff so that it stands out and it's different rather than it be the Royal Cedar Deluxe. What you know what I mean? Because it's such a the market is so full of so many different things that it's really hard to create something that has an individual identity that's memorable.
Mm.
So the fact that it's LecheBurra is, you know, it's very unique. It ties into Esteli. It ties into something that's very much of the street. It ties into something that's represented in the flavor of the cigar. It's you know, we got an emoji to work with. You know, there's a lot of things like
It's all the rings, all the bells.
I can see a future where you're ending up making like smoking donkey statues or some nonsense.
Someone posted
You know what I mean?
it needs a plushie. We need a plushie.
I know.
Yeah. I've messed around with that Veo AI software
Uh-huh.
to try to make a series of videos, and you guys still might see this come out. It's a group of donkeys who all join the LecheBurra program, and they're like, hell yeah, guys are milking donkeys out here. That sounds great. I'll sign up.
And the other thing you understand is like the word burra, it's like a lot of Spanish words. It refers to a mule, it refers to a burro, it refers to a donkey. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of actually know what type of equine species that you're talking about when you use the term. And the thing that's really funny about it for me is I ask all these Nicaraguans, where does this name come from?
Oh, like the etymology.
Right, there is no milk of a donkey in the candy.
Right.
Right. So why did you call it milk of a donkey? It makes no sense whatsoever. And the answer is because we always have. And I'm like, okay, that's it. You know, it's because
That's a very
just,
Latin thing.
That's
by
just
the
what
way.
we call it, and that's how we refer to it.
Don't
and,
question it.
Yeah, and it's the way it is. And it's a predominantly. I'm sure there's some in Honduras and Costa Rica, but really, seems like it's really a Nicaraguan thing for the most part.
Okay. I'm going to take one really quick, Billy, from Chris, from Crim Reaper about LecheBurra. This one, he says, Mr. Saka Khan, what is it like working with on the LecheBurra, Tim? So this seems like you're kind of referencing you and then asking me. And I want to give you guys an analogy that I will use commonly. You'll hear me say this again. Working on LecheBurra for me was incredibly easy because I didn't do a ton up until really this weekend.
He wrote me a check,
I
big ass check.
I did. I
I
got a call
bet that
from a-
felt great. I bet that felt
I got a
great.
call from a credit card processing company who said, is someone committing an international crime or is this okay? I said, no, it's okay. Truthfully, this is my best analogy of it. This is like if let's say you had a restaurant space in Las Vegas on the strip and it's all the buzz and you get to work with like a Michelin 3-star chef, right? When that guy comes into the kitchen, you wouldn't go in and say, tonight, you're making these dishes for the guests. You let that chef do what they do best. And in this case, working with Steve, his particular sin compromiso blending style with top tier materials, very picky blending, and the incredible efficiencies that he uses in his rolling, those produce the cigars that you all have come to expect. If I mess around in that, the cigar's going to have gap teeth and it's going to be stupid. So that's part of the issue you run into.
So here's the thing. I don't let any of the exclusives that first off, nobody at the factory, in our company, anywhere gets an opinion about the cigars. I'm the only person. It ends up delivered in a box as a finished thing. They rarely get to smoke even a sample before it's done. It's in fact, they don't actually. They never get to smoke a sample. They rarely get to smoke it before it's like in a box with a band on it.
I feel better now.
The reason why for that is, look, everybody has an opinion, and everybody's opinion is right for their individual perspective. I mean, one guy's going to say it's too mild. The other guy's going to say it's too strong.
Sure.
This chick over is going, I wish it was sweeter, and blah, blah, blah. It never ends. Everybody has an opinion. And ultimately, in the end, if the cigar sucks, nobody's going to blame Tim Swanson at Cigars Daily. Tim Swanson say, yeah, Saka made me a bad cigar, right? I mean, it all ends up reflecting on me. It doesn't end up actually reflecting on whoever the exclusive is made for. It's a reflection on Dunbarton, which is a reflection on me. So all the burden for whether it's good, bad, customers like it, hate it, whatever, I'm going to take the brunt of that. So why do I want to let you be involved? And I don't mean you personally, but I mean anybody be involved.
Right.
When it's my reputation on the line. It's my company that's taking the risk, right? It's not that you just, because the truth is, had we not made LecheBurra for you, we would have made something for somebody else. We would have made more Mi Queridas. I mean, it's taking from the production space. So, so it's risky when you do these kind of projects. And, to add an extra element of risk is the fact that when I do those projects, I feel like they have to be unique and different enough that they have a reason to exist in the marketplace, where the consumer just doesn't feel like they're just getting another Mi Querida or another Sober Mesa. Not that there's anything wrong with any of those things, but it has to be different enough that it has a reason to be there, which then means that it gets further and further afield from what your core blends are that you sell nationwide. So the risk even gets amped up greater. And then you have the fact that the people that are buying it blind. They didn't have the opportunity to taste it before they bought it. So these are typically your very best customers, the people that like your company the most. So you need to I feel the obligation to give them something that is unique and different enough that there was a reason why they made that blind faith purchase, that they don't just end up with another Sin Compromiso. Right. So even though this shares the same wrapper as Sin Compromiso, I don't want it to taste like Sin Compromiso. Look, Sin Compromiso is a great blend, but if this was just Sin Compromiso a little milder, a little stronger, that's kind of cheating in my world.
Sure.
So in the end, all of the responsibility for good and for bad ends up falling on my shoulders. So why do I want to let anybody, whether they're a retailer or whatnot, have an opinion? And the other thing, and part of it too, is, look, when we do these things, most factories or companies, when you commission an exclusive, they almost always demand a 50% deposit, right from the beginning. Okay, we're gonna do this project. It's gonna be $180,000. Send me a check for $90,000, then I'll start working on it. I don't do that at all. I charge you nothing at all.
This is very typical in cigars.
And that way, if you ultimately, because we sent you the product, I sent you a bundle before you stroked me the check, right?
You gave me 2 cigars.
Yeah, but those were 2 premature cigars. Those are the ones that I rolled. Those didn't count. But didn't you get a bundle? You got a bundle like a week ahead? You got nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, we're terrible company.
I saw it on Facebook with all of you.
But let me say this. Had you gotten it in your warehouse and said, I'm not happy with this, I would have taken it all back.
Sure.
Right. So that way, I also don't feel the pressure of hitting a deadline. I don't feel the pressure of, I have to be happy. You have to choose whether you're happy or not happy.
Sure.
And if you choose you're not happy, then you don't pay me. And then I do what I want to do with the cigar.
Mine's simpler. Like, I think about it very much like the maitre d' thing. Like, people come in, I want to give them the.
And let me say this, and what you're gonna learn as you go on. Look, I know that you make house brands that are for your company, and you're probably much more intimately involved in the process.
Yes.
Right. And I can respect that. It's just not who we are as a company.
Right.
We're not a jobbing company. We're not just taking orders to sell cigars. when we make something, it's a direct reflection of who we are as a company, not, oh, we want to sell an extra 20,000, 30,000 cigars.
Every single cigar maker has their own DNA and own thing that they're like. And I've got cigar makers that are friends that I can go to them and say, like, hey, I had a really great idea for a blend. Can you make a cigar with this kind of wrapper? And they go do that. And other brands, it's like, hey, I want something really medium that's very much like the kind of things you make. And they do that. Working with Steve is like, hey, when we get down to making a cigar, he asked me, what kind of blend do you want? And I gave him a few pieces of input, and he considered those carefully.
Yeah. And, we discussed, what do we want to start as a launching Vitola.
Right.
And we settled on a Toro size because that seemed to make most sense because your customer base.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a Toro. I'll make a Robusto. We'll make eventually. Who knows? Maybe we never will.
Right.
We'll cross that bridge when the
448
time is
would be
there.
great.
The only input I had,
we won't make a cigarillo though. I know
the only
that.
input I had that you hated was the names.
Oh, you had some
Yeah,
bad
people have been
names.
asking for names.
I'm gonna.
You have them still?
Wait, so
Yeah.
does that mean Lancero's not off the table?
Yeah, it's probably off the table.
Okay.
While
just asking.
Tim looks for the names, Steve, we got a question for you. It's not a hardball, but it's a deep question.
Deep.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll read it to you.
Deep.
Hi, Mr. Saka. I wanted to know what are some of your favorite eras of art design that inspire your packaging design for your
So
cigar
I got
lines?
into cigars when really that whole Latin, Spanish, Cuban kind of thing. So you'll find that almost all of my branding leans towards that kind of identification. I tend to stay within that traditional Latin culture. Like Sober Mesa is the epitome because it's that very fully fleshed out dress box with the full labels and the edging strips. Regretfully, that is such a lost art that's become so egregiously expensive. I doubt that I will ever do anything like Sober Mesa packaging ever again. And you notice very few companies do.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why is because you can't make Spanish mahogany boxes, any Spanish cedar boxes anymore. So most cigar boxes today are made out of okame, and okame is a type of plywood that's made out of an African indigenous wood, and it's just not that attractive. And that's why today, when you see so many boxes, they're painted.
Yes.
Right? They're painted. They don't even stain well. It's even hard to take
Yeah.
okame and stain it and make it look good. It just ends up streaky or it ends up dull. There isn't enough character in the grain for it to actually have texture. So I can't do that. But I try to keep my packaging. I want the packaging to be reflective of the quality of the product in the box. But at the same time, I don't want the packaging to be the thing that adds so much cost to the product. I want the money to be more focused in the product. And the other thing too is you don't smoke the box. So I actually probably put more effort into the bands than I put into the boxes, to be honest with you. Boxes are more, I want to make sure they're very precise, millimeter to millimeter.
These are some of the names that I pitched Steve.
This is a long time ago, so I can't wait to hear them again.
This is a long time ago.
Maybe I'll say one of them was genius, and I don't know why I didn't like it.
So Steve gave me, when we talked about the name of LecheBurra, Steve gave me some really good criteria, and these criteria are well thought out. Some of these things I knew, some of them I didn't know. One of the things you said like 4 or 5 syllable words, like
3 to 4 syllables.
3 to 4 syllables.
Yeah, you like it. You like good brands that are memorable tend to have 3, 4 syllables. They have and they also tend to have a sing-songy nature to them.
It's the same as
Monte
Transformers.
Cristo, Partagas, you know what I mean? Romeo and Julieta. These names that are classic names, Liga Privada. There's almost a cadence to the name where it makes it boom, boom, boom. So you like there to be like a little high and a little low. I just know when you look at names, because look, there's so many brands in the marketplace, it's hard to remember. So if there's that kind of thing that gives you that, that little thing.
Plus, old guys can pronounce it.
Yeah, sometimes
a little better.
They can. Even if they pronounce it wrong, at least they get close.
So the other one was it shouldn't be offensive to basically anyone. Like you don't want to pick a name that like could be perceived as offensive by some people because you don't want to turn people off to it before they never try.
I have an exclusive that some people get offended by. It's called U-boat, and they feel like I'm glorifying, U-boats.
No.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's not the case. The reason it's called U-boat is it was actually a blend that was based on derivatives of U, and the factory was getting confused between U-231 and U whatever. So I just came up with a whole bunch of U words so they could keep it straight in their head. And ultimately, the one that ended up being the one that I ended up choosing was the one that was under the moniker U-boat, and I just never changed the name. But it was really because I was just facilitating the factory because they just kept getting confused which U we were talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, this is the ukulele, and this is the U-boat, and this is the whatever Ulysses, and so.
Hey, just for if anyone's watching in the studio audience, Frankie Deuces says, "Can someone get our guest another drink?" And I know that the person who does that is
guys in the lounge,
sitting in the lounge, and so now he might see us say that. See?
Oh, that would be great.
See, that's what we did. All right, and I forget what the other criteria you gave me were, but everything you said was really great. Ben Strongi says, "Make it an easy name, easy to pronounce, as if a child." And Billy will still f it up. Billy cannot pronounce any Spanish words.
There is no such name. Red meat lovers is the only thing I have that most people tend to pronounce 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, the way people say anything.
I still call it the Red Meat Lovers Club every time I talk about it.
That makes sense. That's where it came from.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of calls today, and you'd be surprised how many people said LecheBurra.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Luchador.
Look at that. Just walked through the door. Wow, that worked. We did it, dude.
But here's the difference. Normally, when you get bottle service, it comes with a nice rack.
Yeah,
What I'm getting is I'm getting a fat guy in
come
a
on
t-shirt
over
that's
here.
too short.
This is the level of service we have here. Step in here, dude. Let everybody see you. Bend that crown down a little bit.
Yeah. This is King Lizard right here. This is our guy.
Yeah, put it back on.
Yeah. Get between them. Get between
There's
them.
that handsome devil.
Yeah, baby. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Not getting
Gentleman scholar.
not getting tipped very well later. Shirt's too.
You gotta
high.
bend out forward when you serve the drink. You know.
All right.
The cleavage is directly proportional to the tip.
So directly, these are some of the names
that tip just went down.
That went down. These are some of the names that I gave to Steve. I'm going to select the ones that I feel like are going to be least embarrassing for me, just because it's
That's
my
no
show.
fun.
I can do
Careful,
whatever
careful. I
can do
chose some
whatever
of
I
these
want.
too.
I'd read them all.
I gave
Okay.
you some too.
I'm gonna read. I'll read them off. Centerfold,
Centerfold.
like a centerfold in a magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a stupid name. Sacrifice. That feels like that.
I don't even know where that one's going.
That feels
Yeah,
like
that
a,
sounds like an American Viking cigar.
no. That feels like a Gurkha from 1994.
Wow.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah. One that a lot of people liked. Bastard Child.
Yeah.
That one could have been on the offensive side. Granja, which is a Spanish word for farm, because I'm studying Spanish. And when I learned Spanish,
It's the
words.
first time I've heard that word.
Saka.
Sounds like a French cheese that I can't pronounce.
Saka Illimitada would be Saka Unlimited, rather than the limited edition. Was kind of a play on the limited edition.
If you think I'm gonna let you use my name, you're crazy. That's how I have it.
Bola y cadena, which means
It's like E.
ball
coli.
bowl and chain. Yep. Bola y cadena. Zipe Totec, which is the Aztec god of farming.
Yeah. Okay.
No one would ever pronounce that. Elección de chef, the chef's election or selection.
Okay. Too generic.
Special sauce, more generic, even more.
And more pornographic.
This was a swing and a solid swing and a miss. Mandelbrot,
What is Mandelbrot?
the mathematical set of infinite depth.
And what was my reply to you when you have that? on
Your
there?
Yeah,
reply-
none of these
no,
were the ones I
you-
recommended, by the way.
You didn't even reply. Lafferty texted me and said he hates all of them. Go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Papu.
Papu.
Papu is a good one, dude. I still
How's
think
That
Papu
sounds like
a
what
good-
somebody called their
Sounds like somebody
granddaddy.
took a dump. What are we talking about? I got a big papu.
Papu. It's like Greek for grandpa.
Guess what? You got plenty of people that you can get to make papu for you.
And the other one was enemy of my enemy.
Enemy of my enemy.
Yeah.
This all sounds like American Viking stuff. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Oh, you know what I had on here? One that got used by another company
Oh, really?
that you didn't like, but it got used. Amanecer, which is the name of a
Mm.
size of Placencia's Alma del Cielo, which means sunrise.
What is it?
Amanecer.
Amanecer.
That
It's
was on
their
my list.
660.
And if we had gone to do that, Placencia would have emailed us and said, glad that didn't happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
I want to hear the studio audience.
I want to see what
Were
they have
any
to
of
say
those
about it.
names better than LecheBurra?
No,
Mm.
not
No.
even now.
I mean, was any of them even close?
Billy, let's go through them.
Where
We're
the-
going to do a quick hits. I'm going to read them. And by the way, I want to tell all of you right now, in 1 minute, we are going to go to the after party for this show. The show's going to continue.
Thank God I can
We're
light
going
my
to keep
cigar.
taking your cigar comments and questions, but we're only going to do it on Rumble.
It's like,
and the community on Cigars Daily Plus, because there,
I think you should make the Cigar Daily Live thing like 30 seconds to just tell them to go to Rumble.
just like, hey guys, see you over
Yeah,
there.
We're gonna be over on Rumble.
So we're going to be able to smoke there and do all the things we want to do there. That's why the show's going to continue.
That's when we can
over
bring
there.
the donkey in.
That's when we can bring the donkey in, and we can
Yeah, you
continue taking
rang.
all your comments, whether you're on Plus or Rumble. By the way, Cigars Daily Plus is our own community, and it's free and easy to sign up. It requires your name, a username, an email, and a password. That's like
Oh, so
it.
there's no paywall. They don't have to
There's-
pay for the
Nope.
content.
No. You
Oh,
just
that's
got to
good.
log in, and then you can
So
continue
I feel like
watching
one of
the
those
show.
Patreon things where guys, I mean, 99 cents a week to hear
No.
the special stuff.
Yeah, none of that. None of that here. So we're going to head over to that in 1 minute. In fact, you know what? Nay, says I. We're going to head to it now. Go to either the community on Cigars Daily Plus or on Rumble. Then we'll dissect what people think of our names, and you can keep sharing them there. I would say stay tuned for another episode next Monday, but don't do that. Keep watching this episode right now.
And you know what?
Stay with
You know what-
Saka
you
and
know
me.
what next week's episode is? It's episode 406.
It's episode 406.
406.
That's exactly right. Yes. All right, guys. Join us. Stay with us. Hang out with us.
You have to look at the social media comments. to
When
even
you
get
guys
where
go-
that is.
Go
that
to
means.
Facebook, because Saka and I had a thing today. And not everybody.
Some
got
people
it.
didn't get it.
Some people didn't get it.
I thought me posting a picture of Muttley snickering made it pretty obvious that I was
Saka
just,
said he posted and said, I'm doing Cigars Daily Live or not, or I don't know, because Tim's given me no graphics or time or a link or
I have no
anything.
clue, nothing.
And kind of a what the hell. And I responded and said,
It's
episode
episode
405.
405. Like, who cares? It's
It's-
episode
and,
405.
and the subtitle was Saka's still upset with Tim. No one's surprised. And yeah, there you go. Hey, join us on the after party. We got a hell of a lot more to do for this episode. We'll see you on Rumble or on Cigars Daily Plus. See you over there.
And live your life.